What's up guys, and welcome to the update. Now this is a new feature I thought I would do fairly regularly, either weekly or fortnightly. It depends what's going on in both the news and what's going on with me and my equipment. Obviously this week is CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, so there's a lot of news and quite a lot to get through. But first, let's look at the Pokemon news. Now, let's be honest, everyone loves Pokemon, including myself. And I don't own a 3DS. The announcement yesterday was that there's going to be two new Pokemon games, Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Now obviously this has nothing to do with PCs, but on the 3DS, finally you'll be able to play the Pokemon games you love and you know, but it'll be in full 3D. Yes, it will be in stereoscopic 3D, but what I mean by that is it's actually 3D models. So rather than that all like top-down sort of view you get, be the first actual 3D Pokemon adventure you can play, and it's going to be really good. So that's the exciting Pokemon news. On to CES. Now, there was a tablet announced that a lot of you may be interested in. No, it's not the Panasonic 4K tablet, which does look amazing, but practically speaking that would be too expensive and it's not actually going to be really that good, let's be honest. We're talking about the Razer Edge. Now, the Razer Edge is effectively a gaming laptop, but it's a tablet. So it can either be a tablet, it can either be a tablet with a controller, and you have a little gamepad like that, similar to like the Wii U, and you can use it as a console, you can use it as a gaming machine, or you can just use it as a tablet or as a PC. Now, this is quite interesting, and it's going to be fairly expensive. I think it starts at around $1,000, but it's got a GTX 640M, I believe, in it. Now, this is going to mean that while it's going to have a lot more graphics grunt than anything we've seen in a tablet, it's still obviously not going to be as good as some of your high-end gaming laptops and some of your mid-range gaming cards. But that's not the point. The point is, for the first time, you'll be able to play, you know, real PC games. This isn't stuff from the Tegra Zone or just, you know, Angry Birds. This is real PC games. So Dishonored, you know, anything, any PC game you can play on it because it runs Windows 8. So that's going to be really good. Hopefully one day I'll be able to test it out and show you guys what it's like. But for around $1,000, it's not really my sort of cup of tea. I like to have my PC that I use for my high-end titles, and then anything else I don't really mind what it's like, because you're paying for mobility and efficiency. Whereas if you buy your standard graphics card in your computer, then obviously you're getting a lot more grunt for your money. But the idea of being able to have a tablet that you can take around either someone else's house or even your own house, plug into your TV and use it as a console, is a very, very nice idea, and one that I think is going to appeal to a lot of people. In other news, we've got 4K. Now, it's early days, but 4K is essentially 4 times the detail as normal 1080p. Now, CES had a lot of televisions that are 4K, which doesn't really affect us too much, but it shows the industry is going in the right way. However, Sharp has announced a 32-inch 4K monitor. Now, you're not really going to be able to afford it, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to afford it, and it's only going to be for the real professionals. I believe it was around $2,600. Let's have a look how much they said it was. $5,500. If you've got that, be my guest. But why is it interesting? It's interesting because if we can get a 4K monitor this year, a couple of years' time, they're going to start to become mainstream. So that's going to be something really interesting. On the topic of monitors, one thing that you might be able to afford, and one thing you may want, is CES has brought us a lot of a lot of touchscreen monitors. Now, I myself would love one. Put another one here, have that one there, and then you can be doing all your Windows 80 stuff on here with your touchscreen. And I've used Windows 8 on touchscreens on some laptops and some desktop PCs, and it does actually work quite nice, actually, especially for internet, even things like Reddit. If you're on Reddit, you know, it's just nice just to be able to do all that. And it's sort of a thing that is obviously definitely not going to replace your mouse, but it's actually a lot better than some of you think. It was only today that Gabe Newell from Valve, has criticised Windows 8 again, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's not a happy bunny. And I can. His point is that he doesn't want Windows becoming a closed system, but I can't really see that happening. I can see, because they've got a store, but I mean Apple's got a store, and no one's criticising them. It would be completely against Microsoft, and they would lose all support, and people would go to Linux and things like that if they suddenly become a closed system. And I just don't think it's in their interest to do that at all. I doubt we'll see Steam come through the Windows Store as he's so against it, but it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. As you know, I do actually quite like Windows 8 a lot, and I would recommend it over Windows 7. But as I said in my previous videos, it's not really worth upgrading to unless you want all the touch features, because it's pretty much the same, just a bit more refined. But yeah, on the topic of touchscreen monitors, there's a Samsung one, and there's an LG one, and there might be another one. There's some in 27 inch, and there's a few in 23 inch, and maybe one in 24 inch. I will be interested in whatever one has a VESA mount, because I think it'll be a lot cleaner if you can have two monitors on a stand. You can get like a nice stand actually from Scan. They're doing a dual screen one for, I think it's £60, and that's going to be a lot nicer, look a lot better, and it's actually going to free up some space on your desk. So if any of them have a VESA mount, then I'll be interested in that. Also announced at CES, that's going to be of great interest to most of us, is Corsair have unleashed their new case. Well, not just their case actually, quite a few different accessories. There's the 900D, which is their top end case, and pretty much it looks ideal for anyone that wants to put everything in there. It's very expensive, I think it was around $299, so about £200. But if you're the sort of person that wants to have a lot of water cooling, like custom made, so you have your own blocks and your own pumps and your own reses and stuff like that, then this is going to be of interest to you, and it looks very, very good for a high-end case. Hopefully I'll be able to bring more on that to come. But the thing that's really interesting, and the thing I definitely will be getting as soon as I can get my hands on it, is Corsair have unleashed a new keyboard and two new mice actually. Their K95 keyboard, which is very similar to the Corsair K90, except that all the keys are now mechanical. They used to have a block of like macro keys on your left that you could assign to what you want, but they were actually membrane keys, which people were kind of like, what's this all about? So they've actually fixed that. That's their new keyboard. And their new mice, there's two. There's the M65 and, oh god, was it the M95? Sorry about that. There's two new mice. There's an MMO one and there's a first-person shooter one. They aesthetically are the same as before, except they now come in three colours. You can either get it in white, like a army sort of green colour, or you can get it in black. I think I might try the white one, and I will be getting the Corsair FPS M65. Now, aside from aesthetics, the DPI has gone up to 8,200. Apart from that, they're essentially the same sort of shell, but they were very nice before, and this one will be even better, so I'll be checking that out as soon as I can. For me, not that much has actually changed. Obviously we've got CES going on, so I'm spending a lot of my time sort of doing my research and seeing what's going on over there. I don't really have the funds to fly out there just yet, but my supporters keep going. Hopefully next year I could be there. The keyboard, still love it, it's great. It's this CM Storm Quickfire TK, fantastic keyboards, really a fan of that. The new drivers actually, there's some new drivers came out from Nvidia. They came through the GeForce Experience beta, which is actually very good. If you have a GeForce card, I'd recommend you download that. That will deliver new driver updates to you, and it will show you what the unique settings are for your card, so like graphical settings, which is going to get you the best sort of balance. I personally don't really use that because I like to turn certain things higher than I should and certain things lower, like filtering and anti-aliasing. I like to have my anti-aliasing like about 4 times rather than all this stupid stuff and get the extra frames, but that's me. But yeah, there's some new drivers come out, and I seem to I have no idea why this is, but the monitor that I've got here suddenly looks a lot better. The picture, the blacks are a lot truer. is I've checked and the settings are exactly the same as they had before, but the colours actually look a lot better, and I have no idea why this is. But this is the 120 Hz BenQ light boost monitor, and for some reason the drivers seem to have made it a lot better. So that whether that's something new in the new driver, whether I have no idea, but it's looking very good. And I think that's all about it. I've been using my camera to go out a bit and take some pictures, and so I think every time I do the update I will end with my photograph of the week. So this is always going to be one I've taken, unless I say otherwise, but it should just be me. So this is my photograph of the week. I will leave you that, and I will see you next time.